Welcome. I'd like to welcome everyone to the next Unido Talks with our Chief Commercial Officer, Michael Swan. My name is Joseph Crow, and together we are going to do a little bit of a Unido AMA for all of our community members who have been asking for updates and just a recap of 2022. So I'm going to give the mic over to Michael. And Michael, if you could just give us a recap of 2022, the highlights, what Unido accomplished, where we started, where we're going.
Thank you, Joe, and hello, folks. Thanks for taking the time to join us. Look, it's no secret 2022 from a macro market perspective was pretty horrendous for everyone, not just our project. Most alternate coins got battered. Most major coins got battered. What is good, however, we didn't get down in the doldrums with the price. We just got on with our development team and built out the EP platform. So as most of you will remember, we got to a point where we launched the platform. It is now live. The wallet is available as the web app as well as the device app on Apple and Android. So we're very excited that we've actually launched the project, launched the software package, which it is quite an accomplishment given what the market conditions showed our project, but versus what other projects are getting to. Are they getting to the milestones and actually getting to a live product? We've done it in a really difficult market, so I'm very proud of the team's efforts. We've gone live with Unido EP. Unido Insto has been developed for quite some time. So to give an update on the market positioning and where we're trying to push the products, Insto, as everyone remembers, is a slow burn process with any institution. To take the product on board, there's a great deal of regulatory, legal and compliance work that needs to be done. We continue to have discussions with various partners who are committed to step out of the fiat traditional finance world and bridge into the crypto world. So that's exciting dialogues, and we will announce those partnerships as they come to fruition. But as I warned everyone last year, they are a slow, long burn. EP has proven to be quite successful with individuals, so individual mums and dads, domestic partnerships and small businesses who, through all the turmoil of the exchanges falling over last year, really want to secure their assets. So a lot of our client onboarding from the EP platform is individuals and less corporates. What we're expecting as the market picks up, the corporates will want to re-engage on the crypto topic. They'll be much more likely to take crypto topics to their board when crypto is performing well, and it's a popular discussion to have with a board rather than a very difficult discussion. So EP has been focused on the retail market since launch last year. It will continue to be focus of marketing to the individual segment. There's the pricing schedules and the staking schedules designed for individuals, which is really exciting. Makes institutional grade security available to people that otherwise would have no access to this sort of product. I know we've carried on a lot MPC technology and Fireblocks. They're essentially our peer. Highly sophisticated product and highly sophisticated security, which is usually only available to corporates and instos. Bringing this to the retail space and the individual space is really exciting. And it's, as I said, with all the exchanges that have fallen over in the past year, people really want to secure their own assets, so it's a sorely needed tool. The marketing will continue. We have been doing our research regarding our online social advertising. We look to do a global mass scale push once we've refined which markets, which demographics, which geographies we're going to target. Okay, that's the brief for the product.
That's a great recap of 2022, Michael. Let's dive into some of the AMAs from some of our community members in Telegram, Discord, Twitter that have asked a couple of questions. And sort of going back to what you talked about, how we're approaching a new audience, this is a question from Ravi, who's asking, we would like to hear more about the general state of affairs and where Unido's at right now.
So we find ourselves in a difficult market. The sentiment for the last year or more has been poor, and people have been very nervous based on just the price decline of Bitcoin, but also, as we touched upon, the institutions, the larger trading houses and the exchanges that have fallen over and gone into bankruptcy, and people have lost their assets. So we're coming from a weak sentiment in the market, but a really scared sentiment for individuals securing their assets. So the position it's sort of a double-edged sword for Unido. We'd love to see the sentiment really flow with the token price. The product is live, it's a real product, it's not speculation whether we'll get there. The product is delivered. We need to harness the market and people's knowledge that their assets aren't necessarily safe on exchanges and they want to have them in their own pockets. And we need to work on a communication strategy with that. So it is twofold. People are nervous and don't want to do much in crypto, but they also realise they need to take a hold of their assets and secure them. So we find ourselves in a very interesting position. I think it's a very exciting opportunity because for this level of technology for the individual, it's unavailable elsewhere. The package is simple, easy to use, but it's backed on MPC technology, which, as we touched upon with Fireblocks, apart from them, is unavailable to the mass market. Using EP in the crypto native enterprises, adoption is slow, of course, because projects aren't doing much right now. Everyone's bunkered down due to the market. Corporates are delaying decisions or project work along these lines. No one wants to take a difficult decision to abort where the market is. So we've been focused on the retail space because the corporate space is slow, but we do believe we'll get there. And again, they have the same needs as the individuals do to secure their assets. They need sophisticated workflows. Unido in the pipeline, people will see our business tools, which are designed specifically for businesses that require sophisticated workflows to process transactions and approve them. So we're geared up to cover all markets, but we are having to wait for those markets to recover to really see mass adoption.
That leads into the next question from Sawyer Montoya, who's asking, what percentage of subscriptions do we know are from retail versus institutions, and what percentage of subscriptions are being paid with staking versus crypto fiat payment? And I know you don't have the numbers all completely in front of you, but if you could sort of maybe give us an idea of what that looks like.
Yeah, so the breakdown is quite simple where we stand today, and we will get some infographics out about user onboarding so people can see how much with a essentially a research marketing budget that we've already onboarded today prior to us launching our global marketing efforts. The splits are EP is essentially being used by retail. So the institutional dialogue is typically around Unido Insto. There's certain functions in Insto such as securing balances which are appropriate for margin lending or trading, over-the-counter trading transactions. And as we've talked, it's a very slow and arduous process to get to a brand new product line. So right now, EP is being used, I'm guessing 95% by retail folks, and 5% of small business is using it. For a payment schedule, so we have not yet onboarded the fiat payment mechanism or the crypto payment mechanism. So the first plans will be staking plans, which is great for folks that are wanting to use the platform, given where the price is. It's a very attractive entry point to use some software right this second. We do intend on offering both, so staking plans and fiat and crypto payments. The development for the crypto collection is in the pipeline. It's on the roadmap. So at the moment, it is 100% staking.
Oh, that's good. And I think a lot of people who maybe have invested in Unido and took a step away may be unaware of how successful we've been in integrating and onboarding retail audiences. Our consumer metrics and user metrics have gone through the roof since we've really started campaigning to attract retail audiences. I'm just leaving that there in case people are unaware that we have started attracting retail audiences to the Unido product.
Look, it's a really relevant
point, Michael.
Oh, sorry. Just to reiterate your point, our marketing department has been test and measure different markets, different mechanisms through social media with really good uptake. on a very modest budget whilst we figure out where our target markets are. I think people will be very impressed, and we'll get the numbers in a nice little infographic in Telegram of the uptake. I do remember at the end of last year we were having, triple figure month-on-month user gains for a product which is brand new, which is not widely marketed. That's really, really encouraging to see. You can only imagine when we go full-fledged on the various lines through TikTok, through Facebook advertising, through Instagram, how exciting the uptake can be. And of course, it's all scalable as software at the end of the day. So our returns continue to increase the more folks we have on, and obviously with staking plans, people staking up more and more tokens to play leads to a scarcity in tokens. We all know what that means.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great to hear. On the topic of product, we have a question from the Bevinator, and they're asking, do we have any updates on new features coming and any potential new marketing plans? And I know you touched on marketing a bit, so are there any new features that are in the works or that our community can look forward to?
Yeah, so slightly after we launched the first version, we added some tools which are important for Web3 interactions. Wallet Connect is basically the standard these days for Web3 interactions with other contracts. You can now, for instance, go straight onto Uniswap and trade direct. You haven't got to buy via an intermediary wallet. You can connect directly to the Web3 universe or ecosystem of products out there. So I think that's really cool. We've also added in-app trading. So those who wish to trade their currencies, but they don't like the idea of taking it out of the safe wallet infrastructure, putting it on an exchange, trading, then bringing it back, because there are risks involved in offloading, moving to multiple jumps via multiple wallets. We now have in-app trading. We're doubling down, and we will increase the trading via different trading providers, and also fiat buying of crypto. That's on the pipeline. I think one thing that's really exciting, and we did mention it in the group, and we're undertaking a market study, is the idea of a crypto credit card. So we're very committed to introducing a crypto Visa card, where folks essentially put the balance of their crypto that they'd like to spend into a wallet, and then you can use that credit card as you would a normal fiat credit card. We have to remember, and this was one of the core reasons why we built this product, it's easy in Australia to recognise it, Australia for instance, many first world nations, that getting a fiat bank account, credit card is a very simple process. There are nations where that is not a simple process, and folks are not comfortable having their assets, their cash on a bank for trust and security reasons. So this gives access to fiat banking style products without having to step into the banking arena. So I think that the advent of a crypto credit card will be really exciting. We have got a campaign up for people to lodge their interest if you think this is something that you'd love to see. And if you'd like to be on the first waiting list when we go live with this product, it is in the roadmap. We'd love to see your feedback.
Awesome.
One other thing,
Awesome.
Joe, and the final product update, which is worth mentioning. I mean, we've got the full roadmap, and you can see for yourselves online. The other really exciting thing, which I think the timing will be great for when corporates start to come online and really get interested in taking crypto exposure, not only for investment but for actual transacting, is the business tool set. We mentioned it earlier. It's going to give a set of tools, a set of reporting tools, transacting tools, workflow tools, and approval tools, which are very akin to online banking for corporate accounts that you can have now. So the experience will be very similar, but it's very evident to push multiple transactions, or even automated transactions coming off a master system, and our wallet receives it via an API, that you need a sophisticated workflow beyond what a usual retail wallet is. That's going to be built into EP, and that is our attempt to corner the business side of the market. So the product is well balanced between retail and corporate, Some of the additional tools will be on the higher end plans, but the nature and the intent here is that we cover all users with the product.
That's exciting stuff. And yeah, even Wallet Connect or the fiat on-ramps have already been instrumental in allowing our users to unlock access to Web3. So it's awesome. We have awesome stuff coming ahead. Next question, Michael. This is from a user named Toph, T-O-P-H. In the case of disintegration of an enterprise or, say, a security breach, can a key holder of the DeFi vault forfeit their signature rights without their permission? So if an enterprise went out of business, what would happen there?
So if an enterprise goes out of business, the wallet, despite being owned by the enterprise, is wholly controlled by the voting procedure, the voting scheme of that wallet. So let's say you have 4 votes, 4 directors, and you need 3 of 4 votes. To remove a signatory, you need 3 people of that 4 to approve the removal. Reason being, it's a security mechanism. If someone was to circumvent and involuntarily remove certain signatories to get the threshold down to an achievable level, you could circumvent the multi-party nature. So to transact, to add new members, to remove members, all requires a vote at the threshold that was set at inception. So you can't circumvent or voluntarily hand in your key, because we would view that as a security flaw in the system. You can be removed from a wallet, but that would require the voting parties to agree and to sign that transaction.
So it's a feature, not a bug. It's intended to be that way to protect the users.
Very, very intentional.
Okay, Michael.
As you can imagine, you would have situations where people just pose as that other person or hack a single wallet to remove them to get down to a smaller voting threshold. So it's very intentional, yes. Or
maybe intentionally close up shop to kick someone off of a wallet or something, if that were the case. All right, next question, Michael. This comes from RJ Ozzy. Can we have... Sorry, this question is from RJ Ozzy. Can we have monthly held AMAs? Is that something that maybe we could do in the future?
Well, we can certainly commit to do frequent AMAs. What I think would be best is if we time them around topical situations. So not only product developments, I'd love to do an AMA when we have each product development come out, or when we launch our global marketing plan, so we can report on the broad metrics. That would make a lot of sense. But also if there's thematics in the market and people want to understand how Unido as a project views what happened, or how Unido could help, or how it may impact us or not impact us, I'd be very interested to get on if folks would like to hear me talk about those things. I wouldn't necessarily put it on a monthly schedule, because I want to have topical stuff that's relevant to talk about, opposed to get people's attention because it's the 15th of the month and we've got to record a video. But look, to the sentiment of the question, yeah, I think we can do frequent video updates if people like this format, and we can give updates on both Unido, the broader market, and how we sit within it. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here, guys. If this is something that interests you and you want to hear updates, make sure to share this video, like it, engage, so that the team knows that this is what you guys are looking for, if this is what you're wanting. Next question, Michael, is from Eminence. And Eminence asks, may I ask, are there any centralized exchange listings that are being worked on or that we can be expecting soon?
What I would always say here, and everyone knows the policy in most projects, you won't comment specifically on timing of new central exchange listings, so I won't do so either. What I will say is, firstly, we are listed on Gate, top 10 exchange, so we have got that first listing. Yes, we're in dialogue with other exchanges regarding a tier 1 listing. That's, of course, where we'd like to get to. Timing needs to be right regarding both the market. There are economics to achieve to go onto those exchanges, so those need to be right as well. And the broader timing of where the product sits. So we're now quite an appealing project, and I say yes, we're in dialogue with exchanges, because a lot of exchanges reached out to us on the back of seeing that our project actually went live. Picking the right one and making sure it's the right move for us is really important. There's commitments such as market making and all the various things that we would need to commit to. So it is a drawn-out process to figure out the right one. Yes, the end game is to get onto a tier 1 exchange, of course. No, I can't give us a definitive timing right this second, as there's variables that need to come into place. But again, this is a topic for another AMA when we've come to an agreement, and you've got to, these things are done under confidentiality agreements. Once we've agreed to go public, then we can comment on these things and be specific. And we'll pull in a group for an AMA when we have something to publicly announce.
That's awesome. This next question comes from Trollhouse3, or Trollhouse, I guess. And they're asking, do we have any plans on collaborating with other banks in the future and rolling out products for them?
Yes. So everyone knows I'm based in Australia, and my banking career was in Australia. So that's where we started the banking dialogues for most of last year. We are in communication with, I'll say, more than 2 fintech startups in Australia, where their products, they're not banks as such, they offer lending products. And the exciting aspect for them, and we touched on it just earlier for Unido Insto, is providing a margin lending style product where you collateralize either a crypto or a cash loan by a crypto holding. So you chuck your Bitcoin on that you don't want to sell, and they forward you some money and you repay a loan. And of course, if you foreclose on the loan or the market rates drop below a level, the system takes a hold of the crypto and sells it. It's a pretty standard margin loan procedure. So that's quite a popular idea. And also piggybacking off the idea of crypto credit cards, a similar scheme where you secure a balance, but the assets sit with you, they're just secured, rather they go off to an institution and sit in a wallet in a big pool, which of course has been the issue and the concern for many with the exchanges to date. So they're the topical things we've been talking about. We're also in conversation with a very large custodian. It's, especially with the custodian, a very long path because their clients are corporates and trustees. So yes, there is an interest for setting up custody products as well. But as you can imagine, the amount of compliance folk, regulatory folk, lawyers, figuring out the legal structures, where to domicile the vehicles, it's a really, really long process. So all I try to do is warn folks when they talk about, especially this is Insto, not necessarily corporates or retail folks using EP. The Insto product is not a matter of you get on a call, wow them with how good the product is. First, they need to build the entire product line. Some businesses take years setting up a product line. They need to then get all the various approvals and make sure they've got the right regulatory framework. It just takes a long time. We are here for the long burn, and that's my job, to chase down these large commercial endeavours, and that's what we continue to do. It's obviously a very difficult time last year to chase those down because the sentiments just weren't there, but I think everyone on this AMA does accept that crypto will come back. It's just a matter of when. So we're positioning ourselves as strongly as we can by continuing the dialogues until people are really ready to snap into gear and launch a full-fledged custody or lending platform.
That's good. So I was going to ask, a lot of people probably don't realize that when the sentiment is down and you're trying to appeal to institutions or enterprises, you kind of have 2 headwinds at the same time against you. Market sentiment is down and money is getting tighter. So patience is really a virtue in times like this, I imagine.
It is, and if you think about a large organisation and how hierarchy works, the nature is you pitch these to the business development and the product development guys, and maybe just below the C-suite is the working team that figure out how a product may work, how it may integrate with their broader systems. Then you need approvals. So you go up the stream and you get to the C-suite, or eventually you get to the board of directors, and you have to argue why spending money makes sense while there's such little sentiment pushing the product. Are people chomping at the bit to pursue corporate investments in crypto right this second? Well, the answer is no, because that's where the price is. The demand isn't there right this second. So it's an unpopular discussion to take to a board right this second. Are the working teams figuring these things out because they accept that crypto is going to come back? Absolutely. They're just not bringing them for board approvals and going public right this second, because that's not how institutions work. They take months, if not years, to get to these new products, let alone a brand new product where regulation in even some of the industrial mainstays is only just coming about now. We're getting guidance in Australia of how to consider the assets and regulation around them and tokenisation rules. They've got to take those down and figure out how the products would work. So it's a really, really, really long path. We're not dissuaded because it's a really good opportunity commercially. And of course, these things are usually done in partnership. We don't just give them a flat fee. It's usually a percentage of revenue. And it's a great way to onboard brand new clients who wouldn't necessarily use EP direct onto the user base, and we derive revenue. So it's absolutely worth pursuing. It is tedious. The guys we work with understand it's tedious too. They'd love to get cracking, but there are these processes, these procedures, and they just take forever. That's the long and the short of it, unfortunately.
And I think that was a great answer. Going into the next 3-6 months, Michael, even the next 12 months, say we're still seeing some macro uncertainty and people don't really know exactly what's going to happen. What should our community be looking forward to? What is the vision of Unido? What should people be clinging on to in this next period of time?
Look, I think of our project both in of itself and versus the rest of the market. We've deployed the product we promised we would. I maybe sound biased, but it's a million times better than what we first envisaged. It's a really schmick product. The platform has a lot more capability than we expected, because we have a fantastic tech team that wanted to do this right and build a really substantial product. So if you're looking across the market on where to sit from an investment point of view, it's really important, did the team deliver what they said they would? Well, we have. Now, the next step is revenue generation. We've already shown that we can get client onboarding onto the EP platform very effectively with a very mild budget. The key now for us is to step up the global spend on our marketing budget, as we're getting to a point that we're really refining which markets are interested, and that's where we're going to saturate to see the lowest cost per user acquisition. And that will be a large capital spend. Excuse me. So the next 3 to 6 months is really addressing or tackling the addressable market, which still remains the retail space. People are scared of the exchanges. They want a simple option to secure their assets. We have that in a box. It's ready to go. The Insto stuff, the dialogues continue. Do I expect we'll have an announcement in the next 3 months? Very unlikely. Is the dialogues going to continue and press towards new launching of Insto products? Absolutely. One thing we will be seeing from the development team is onboarding new chains as we go, new blockchains. And there's a broader sentiment for new projects to be launching, and often those projects require wallets to be paired. So we're having dialogues with projects about, do they want to partner and have a wallet, and they would use the EP wallet and we would onboard their coin. So those sorts of partnerships are addressable in the next 6 months, absolutely, which are just other ways to branch out for new client acquisition.
Awesome. Well, I feel like you've given our community a lot of hope and inspiration and direction of where Unido is going, and helped answer some of those questions that our community has. So again, if anybody has any further questions, feel free to ask them in Telegram, Discord, Twitter, and hopefully we'll have more of these AMAs scheduled on a more routine basis, so that we have an opportunity for everyone to get their questions answered. And so thank you so much for your time, Michael. This was awesome.
Pleasure, Joe. Thanks everyone for joining. Can't wait to talk with our next update soon. Bye for now.
Awesome. Bye, guys.